Is a quick tip, and it's all about how to measure up your veil. This is the very first thing you want to consider before even cutting your netting. And I have five principles that I use. I'm sure other people use other things, but these are the 5 things that I use when I measure a veil. The first thing I do is I consider her hairstyle, because it leads to the second point, where you place your comb in the hair. So your hairstyle is going to dictate where you place your comb. The third thing I consider is your gown. So the gown and the length, they go together when I consider a cut. If I'm measuring a veil, I want to consider the gown, I want to consider the length of the cathedral, I want to consider all aspects of that. And finally, the last thing we're going to consider are heels. And I'm going to show you all this in a demo because my niece came in, she's a bride. I've been waiting for this day. I'm so excited to measure her. It was a lot of fun too, because she's seen me making veils for a lot of years, and now she's become my bride. And that to me makes me so happy. And she's decided to go with a mantella, and we're going to measure her for that. But before that, she said that she'd play along and let me show you all the different aspects of these 5 principles. So why don't we take a look at that? All right, I'm here with Keela. She happens to be my niece, and this is a very exciting day for me. We're going to measure her for a mantilla, but she's agreed to also let me do a little demonstration on how I measure a veil. And there's 5 different things I look for, and the first is hair placement. So her hair is in a little high bun. It's kind of a little messy bun right now, so if you'll turn this way for me. So when you're placing your veil in your hair, the first thing you want to consider is your hairstyle. And the reason for that is if you put a comb here, 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 or here, that changes the measurement completely. And so hairstyle and comb placement go hand in hand. Keela has a little high bun here. So if I was going to be measuring for a high bun placement where I'm going to put the comb right here, actually I have a veil right here, so why don't we just throw it in? I place the comb right here. That's where I'm going to start my measurement. So there's your start point. If I go here, that's my start point. Here, that's my start point. And here, that's my start point. All right, for just convenience, I'm going to start it at her bun. Right here is comb placement. So here's where the comb is placed. We decided that based on her hairstyle. And from that place, I'm going to now measure for an elbow. So I'm going to have Keela put her arms down, and her elbow is a 23. Just so you know, my elbow is a 32. So everybody's elbow length is going to be different. So to create a custom length for her, we would have to do about a 24-inch elbow length. Fingertip, put your fingers all the way down, is going to be a 40. And when you measure for myself, that would be a 42. And then if I was going to do, let's say a blusher, that would go at the shoulder. That's your end point. And there you go. That's about a 14. So from here is your start. And then all the way down to the floor is your cathedral. So a chapel would go at the end of her dress, and then a cathedral would go further out. Now the other parts that I consider are the gown. So why don't you turn around for me? And if you notice, Keela has a beautiful bodice here, and we'll just face you towards the camera right here. And you see that line right there? So when I'm measuring a veil, I do not like to make the line go even with a bodice cut, because it just doesn't look right. What I like to do is measure a little below. So if I was going to do an elbow length for her, and it almost lands perfectly with her bodice here, I would actually choose a little longer elbow length for her. So I would probably go at about a 27-inch so that lands a little further down from there. And that just kind of makes the eye balance out a little bit. So it's just about your eye and the cut and the balance. Look at that length of your veil with the gown when you're measuring. All right, so I've changed the view so you can see all the way to the floor as I'm going to be measuring Keela for a mantilla that has a cathedral length. All right, so Keela, where would we like to have that mantilla laying in the hair?
I think towards the front.
Okay, perfect. And with her hair down, we took her hair out of the bun because we do not want that bun there, because that would affect the measurement, because I will be going over a bun. With her hair flat and perfectly down, we're going to measure from the start point right there. And I'm going to do this measurement with and without heels, so you'll know that that 5th element that I look at is the heels. You'll know why. As I measure down, I'm going to go all the way down. So here we are at the 60-inch mark, and from 60 to the floor is about 65 inches. And then you were talking about it, and she really would like to do about 1.5 feet long. So that's going to be about 17 inches out. And that looked about right. That's where our point is.
Yeah, that looks good.
Okay, and she's going to have lace on there. So again, that measurement where you're considering the gown when you're measuring, also consider the train. She doesn't have a train, but if she did have a train that went out, I like to measure when I'm doing a cathedral for a train. I don't like the veil to land right at the edge of the actual train. I like it to be a little bit before or a little bit out or further out. So that's just a preference. The point is that consider the gown length, the train length as you're measuring. All right, since she doesn't have a train, this veil is going to become her train. And because it has lace, it's going to be an absolute showstopper. We know that she's got a 64 to the ground and a 17 inches out. And I'm horrible at math right now, but I'm going to show you how that changes once we put our heels on. All right, she has her heels on. And this is the fifth thing I consider our heels. You're 5'2" and you put a 4-inch heel on. And now I'm going to show you the measurement with her heels on. That spot, I'm going to go all the way down. And our measurement to the floor was approximately 65 before. And now we are at 68. So if we hadn't measured with her heels on, we would have lost that measurement in her veil. So now as we measure out, 68 is now to the floor and out 17 inches from that point is her train. That's why we want to wear our heels when we're measuring, because it does affect the length. Those 5 principles, carry them with you when you're measuring your veil. They're all very important. So really all you need is a tape measure, and you need a bride, and you need to know all those different aspects. It's simple, it's cut and dry. It's not complicated, right? Now, if you are done measuring your veil and you want to know how to cut your veil, go to No Scissors. And there you will see why I don't use scissors to cut my illusion netting. And then after that, you can tool over to, after you've cut your veil, tool over to Let's Gather Together, where that veil then can be gathered, and then you can tool over to Put a Comb on It, where you're going to learn how to take your cut, gathered veil and put it on a comb. And I've already completed an entire playlist to make your veil from start all the way to the edge of your veil. So don't miss that playlist.